Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thank you as always for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and today folks we are doing a pick-a-card reading. We are looking at what is ahead for us 1 week from now. So it's just an open-ended reading based on what is happening a week from now, starting from any time you are looking at this pick-a-card reading. So I have 4 different stones here, so we're going to do 4 readings, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the deck into 4 piles. This means that I'm using one deck and I am going to divide the cards across 4 piles, and so the whole deck will be distributed from the get-go. This also means that every single card in the deck is going to figure somewhere in the readings. So there's going to be positive cards and challenging cards that show up depending on what is ahead for you specifically 1 week from now. So I'm just shuffling the deck a little bit and let's go ahead and divide those cards. Okay, here are our 4 piles of 9 cards. There's going to be 9 cards per pile because the Lenormand deck has 36 cards. And that's right, you guessed it, I'm going to do a portrait for each one of these readings. So before I get you to head over to the timestamps, I just want to go over the stones with you. This is the Opalite stone. This is the Lapis stone. They're all so beautiful, really. This is the Leopard Skin. And this is Brandberg stone. So go ahead and tune into which stone you want to go over for this reading. You'll find the timestamps in the description box. And if you need to pause the video to think about this, then by all means do that. And I will see you in your reading. Okay, Opalite group, here we are with your cards. And these are the 9 cards I initially dealt out. As always, I like to keep them in the order that I dealt them in, although one day I might change that. And let's go ahead and deal out your portrait cards. Okay, Opalite group, so you get the challenging cards. And it is also very clearly in relation to a relationship. So we have the ring, the woman, and the dog. We also have the letter and the heart, and all of these cards really bring out the relationship aspect of the situation. We have the whip as your cover card, the clouds in the center, and we have the snake next to a relationship card. So just from looking over these cards, Opalite, we can see that we have challenges ahead 1 week from now or starting from then with regards to a relationship. But what's interesting is that the whip is the card that covers you. The whip is your cover card, and usually the cover card gives you advice, guidance, and it tells you to carry the energy of the card that figures in this position. So the whip is pretty energetic, it can be aggressive, and so I have to wonder, Opalite, if this is not coming from you. You could be the one who is basically fed up with a person and you decide to move on. Now, I did say this is about relationships, but the ring can also point to certain involvements, but we do have people elements coming into play. So what I mean to say is that more broadly, it could be a situation that you're part of. And at this point, you're just like, this isn't working, or, something really needs to be clarified. And I'm gonna find out what needs to be clarified. I'm gonna do something about this. So the whip is pretty energetic and aggressive in this sense, in this position. The clouds is about confusions and complications, and so there seems to be a nebulous affair, or there could be something that is unclear. Things are clouded, and it's also likely that you're going to raise the dust. And this really comes through the first diagonal, so let's go ahead and get into these lines. We have the whip, clouds, and dog. So someone could have been just unclear, not coming through, a real pain. And with the clouds, there's all of this, confusion and things that need to come out into the surface. And I feel that with the whip as your cover card, you are going to do this. So you're going to basically sit this person down and get them to tell you what is going on, or you need to set them straight. Now, this can happen in any context in your life. The dog can represent a friend, a partner. It can be a colleague. It can even be a child, a son or daughter. It can be a friend. It can be a sibling. The thing about the dog is that it generally refers to someone in your peer group, but sometimes it also represents like younger people, junior people. So that's why I suggested your son or daughter, or like an employee, for example. So these, all of these are possible for you depending on your specifics. So again, the whip and clouds is really about raising the dust, really deciding that you're going to figure this out and you're going to do something about it. So you're going to rock the boat, Opalite. You're going to shake the cage and see what comes out. The woman, clouds, and letter is nebulous communication. This is, information that is unclear. It can also be tense exchanges. The idea is that the communication is really it's not okay. It needs to be clarified, and that's why we got your whip in the first diagonal. So the woman and dog might represent the same person. It doesn't have to. It can also be different people in this whole situation. And maybe there's like a triangle thing going on. And so this is what could also cause the confusion. Again, these details, they depend on your specifics. If you have questions, by all means, leave them. Let's move on to the columns. We have the whip, ring, and woman. This is a recurrent theme that's coming up now. The whip and ring is a challenge in a relationship. It can mean an outright breakup if this is about romance and closer relationships. And again, the woman represents this person in your life. So the woman is typically someone of influence. She can represent someone close. It can be a partner, it can be a colleague, it can be a mother. It's sort of the same as the dog, except it sort of identifies her as a woman, depending on your specifics again. So again, the whip and ring challenge is coming up, and again, the idea of the whip falling on your first position, I have to wonder if this might come from you, or that the portrait is giving you advice to crack the whip at this point, to really understand what is going on. The heart, clouds, and mountain can take on a number or a couple of possibilities here. Obviously, the heart and clouds is not so great for feelings. There are, confused emotions and probably annoyance. The heart and clouds are obviously a bit of a challenging combination here. They point to annoyance or feelings of disappointment, hurt, confusions, and that emotional sense that comes with these thoughts. It can also be thoughts about love. If this is about, you're wondering if this person has any feelings towards you. You're wondering, how they feel about you. Again, the clouds is really about confusion and, the clouds that cover the sun. So it's not clear what's going on. With the mountain here, this can be about a place abroad. Maybe the woman and dog in the bottom row represents someone abroad. So this communication abroad. But the mountain can also point to a blockage because it has to do with obstacles and obstructions and like these borders and fences and things that separate. And this is really what could be reflected in the bottom row as well. So the woman, mountain, and dog can point to the separation that is between people. And this really reflects well into the central column, which T crosses the bottom row. The idea that, there's no connection, there is a disconnect, there is confusion, and it's not clear, where these people stand relative to each other, where they stand relative to you. And I think that, I really feel that the possibility of triangle here comes through because we also have the snake, and the snake tends to point to love triangles. So the snake in love usually represents to a third party who's interfering in the relationship. It can represent outright cheating and dishonesty and so on. And so when I see these two people cards here and your cover card, in this like configuration here, which is like a triangle, and the snake in the line with the ring, I'm getting a lot of sense that this could be a confusing situation with two or more people, and you need to break out of it because it seems to be toxic. The letter snake and dog is, I would say, some disappointing news probably coming from this person or about this person. And I think this can really cause you to say that you're done with this and you're just going to move on. So when we look at the snake and what a T crosses, the central row, we have the ring, clouds, and snake. It really is a situation that seems, or I should say a relationship through the ring and clouds that doesn't seem to have hope in the sense that you can make sense of it. And so with the snake on the right-hand side, which is the futuremost side of the reading, it's very possible that you decide you're just going to drop this because it's just not making sense. It is not falling into place. It is not resolvable in any way that is comfortable. And so you're going to decide to just call the shot and move on. And with the whip as your cover card, I really think, Opalite, that might be the best thing for you. So this might take a bit of courage, a bit of energy, and I would say also a lot of honesty, Opalite, because the clouds in the center here is really about having the willingness to see through the issues. And I think this is the challenge, the main challenge that's going to come for you a week from now. The idea that you're going to draw the line and decide that this is toxic and you're going to get out of it. Now, I did say this is mainly about relationships, and we have plenty of relationships cards, but it could also be a broader situation that, and of course, almost every situation in our life involves people. It could be like something at work, or an involvement, or an activity that you do elsewhere, a hobby, a group of people. It can be anything really in your life that is causing you just heartache and toxicity. And I'm going to say, Opalite group, draw the line and move on. The cards are very encouraging in this way. The whip, heart, and letter, I feel here you could, I think because again, the whip is your cover card, you could be the one who initiates the communication. I would have said generally that there's news that comes through that is hurtful, or they might have said something hurtful because of the whip and heart next to each other. But again, Opalite group, the whip really tells me that you could be the one initiating this communication, and maybe it's time to be honest about how you feel. And this might be hurtful to the other person or the other party, but you need to, I think, get out of this, or at least clarify your position within this. And it seems that it's going to take a bit of, being somewhat aggressive or upfront, let's say, about this whole situation. And we read the ring, clouds, and snake. Again, because of the snake being on the right-hand side, I feel that you need to move on from this. It seems that some things are going to be intractable and unsolvable, and your best bet might be to just move on because this is a headache. And we did also read the woman, mountain, and dog. We suggested that there could be a separation between two people here, which is what ties in nicely with the central column. But if this has to do with a place abroad or people abroad, then the whole situation can be in relation to these people. Again, it's not particularly helpful with what you need to do at the end of the day, but it's just a clue about what the situation is about. That's a possibility. And so with the woman and dog on either side of the mountain, they could be apart, they could be in different places, in different countries, or it can actually be another call for drawing the line, drawing borders, putting healthy boundaries so that you can remove yourself from this apparently toxic situation. So you get the challenging cards, Opalite group. It is quite a challenging reading, but it's really interesting that the whip is your cover card. So it's a challenging situation, but I feel that you've got the upper hand on this because you're the one who's going to call the shot to remove yourself from this complicated situation, the situation that is plain annoying, probably toxic, not healthy, and probably also not going anywhere. So see, Opalite group, if a week from now you're going to be ready to draw the line, maybe take the time to think about this, take the time to think about how best to communicate effectively, what is the right move for you, and also think about the people involved. If you're going to say things in an upfront way, make sure it is really towards the right person and not towards people who are not involved and you weren't aware. So think about this, the different people at play here, where they stand relative to the situation, so that you can be as clear as possible and you can move on as effectively as possible. So let me know how you like these ideas, Opalite group. Let me know if you're ready to draw the line and call the shots. I'm really looking forward to your feedback. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. Okay, Lapis group, let us see what is ahead for you a week from now, or starting from a week from now. I've got your 9 cards. These are the ones I drew initially. I'm going to keep them in this order as always, though that might change one day. And I'm going to deal them out into your 9-card portrait. So let's see what is ahead for you a week from now. Okay, Lapis, these are powerful cards, obviously with the beautiful star right in the center of your portrait. This is one lucky reading. I am seeing, Lapis, for you a breakthrough and the ability to move forward unfettered, unhindered. It seems that you could have been waiting for something for a while and now you get it and you're able to move forward. I really like the scythe as your cover card. It seems that you will need to make a sharp decision, make a sharp separation. You will need to act fast. With the star and moon, I think you could get a wish. A wish materializes for you, and with the scythe, it's possible that you didn't expect this. The star and moon can also suggest an invitation, and I really feel that with what's going on in this column here, the idea of a proposal can come through rather well. So in the first diagonal lapis, we're seeing a breakthrough, a wish materializing, probably unexpectedly, and this can involve an invitation or a proposal that comes your way. With the coffin, star, and book, it's here where I'm seeing, as well as in this column, we'll get to in just a sec, there was this waiting element at play for you. So you could have been waiting for this to come through. You didn't know if it was going to come through. Both the coffin and book are closed kind of energy, so it's like something is away, not accessible. And with the star here, there is good reason why it took that much time, but there's also the suggestion that you have faith that things are unfolding in the right way for you. So just be patient, and it's going to come through. The scythe, stork, and coffin is a very clear combination of things that had been on hold now come through. So the stork and coffin is that specific combination that tells us that something that had been on hold or something that you had been waiting for was out of reach, and now it comes through. The stork is that card that gives the green light, that enables movement, and on top of that we have the scythe. So again, this combination of a breakthrough, this message of things materializing and you're able to now move forward is very, very clear in the cards. The lily, star, and flowers is another very beautiful card combination that is about wish fulfillment and things materializing. Of course, with the star being in the middle, it's going to be part of many lines. So we're going to get that idea of wish materializing for you recurring in your reading. The flowers is also a lovely card for anything that returns. So again, I'm seeing this idea that you're coming back into play. You now get the green light. You're able to move forward. It adds well to what we saw in the left-hand side column. And on top of that, the flowers is all about abundance, happiness, celebration. It's also really good for creativity along with the moon. So this could be a really creative time for you when you are moving forward with your projects. And in all cases, Lapis, this is definitely good advice. Stop waiting. Don't hold back. Get moving with your projects. Move forward with your ambitions. Have faith that they will materialize. A week from now, you really need to stop waiting. So that is a really beautiful message as well. The book, road, and moon points to a deep change that is possible for you, Lapis group. It comes probably in the wake of this proposal, this invitation that we saw through the moon and star. We also see it through the moon and book. This is very much a combination of proposals. And with the road here, this is the idea of a path opening up and possibly a lifestyle change, and really the idea of moving forward in that direction that is really aligned with you. And I would say because of the book, even if you don't have all of the details, move forward, trust in your path, and trust in yourself to make things happen for you. So again, if this is about holding off on certain projects or certain actions that you've been wanting to take, Lapis group, this is definitely a week from now a good time to get started on those projects and no longer waiting, really just trusting that you can make this good happen for you. And in another sense, you could get that proposal, that invitation, or that I would say a knockout opportunity really that opens up this door for you. Now in the top row we have the scythe, lily, and book. This can be about career, as it can be actually in the middle column as well, where this wish fulfillment or this a positive creativity here comes through in the context of your work. And with the scythe, lily, and book, this can be a new branch of knowledge. It can also be a brand new chapter in your life, because the lily is also about life more broadly. And I would say because of the scythe as your cover card, it is really time to break through into the next phase. It is also definitely a time to express yourself, no longer holding yourself back or keeping yourself to yourself and closed. Really just, get out there, give yourself room to grow, to explore, to do these projects, to enjoy yourself, to enjoy your life and the things that you love. The stork, star, and road is beautiful for change. This can be a major decision point as well, I have to say, Lapis group. When I'm looking at this arrow here, we've got the scythe, road, and coffin. This could be a significant change for you. It's the end of the road, the beginning of a new one. You're at crossroads, you're making changes, this thing is opening up for you. It can be pretty exciting. I would say with the stork, star, and road here, there is a lot of encouragement to move forward, so again, this idea of get going. And the scythe is really helpful as your cover card. Like, stop hesitating, stop holding yourself back, stop wobbling, just do it, just go, move forward. And then the coffin, flowers, and moon is again this idea that after a waiting time, you get feedback. The flowers is about returning by association with spring. And also the phases of the moon, help with that. It comes back, it grows and waxes and wanes. And so, again, no more holding back, no more waiting, time to embrace the opportunity. And I would say also have fun in the process. If you had been, for example, on your own a lot, spending time indoors a lot with yourself, maybe it's time to make a change and go out, maybe be with people, explore people, places, and things like that, having some fun. This is definitely encouraged as well. So overall, Lapis group, this is a beautiful portrait that comes for you. This is what comes up for you a week from now. Wish fulfillment, opportunity, radical changes are possible. A proposal or an invitation are possible. Creativity and festivity and celebration and having faith in your ability are all very, very well encouraged. So this is really a very beautiful message, very clear as well, with lots of good things for you. So go ahead, a week from now, stop hesitating, make that change, move on, and enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed these ideas, Lapis group. Leave me your thoughts and comments. I'm really looking forward to them. And until we meet again, take very good care of yourself, and thank you so much for watching. Hello, Leopard Skin group. Here we are with your reading and your cards, and I've got the night cards I initially dealt out, and I'm going to keep them in this order like I normally do, although that might change one day. And Leopard Skin, we are looking at what is ahead for you a week from today. So let's go ahead and deal out your portrait cards and see what we get. Okay, Leopard Skin, here are some interesting cards for you. There's a mix of everything. There's the ship that can point to travel. We have two somewhat challenging cards. We've got the bird as your cover card and the mouse in the center here. And we do have the child, key, and ship in this column that is pointing to a new beginning. You've got the child card in your portrait, which tells me that you're in for something new. Something new is coming into play. And what's interesting is in the top row, it comes on the other side of the tower, which points to the past. So that's quite interesting. The mouse is a bit challenging. It can cause issues, glitches, speed bumps, things, going wrong a little bit here and there. It's not a very challenging card. It's just a bit annoying. It causes delays and things like that. But the mouse is also about the details and making sure that everything is clear, so really getting into the details. Another thing is that it can cause losses, so it's important that you beware of anyone who is trying to take, or that you're overspending, or wasting time, wasting anything else. The mouse brings this up, so be vigilant about this. Let's go ahead and weave these lines together. There are many different themes here. Let's see what the picture comes up. So it's best we build it from the ground up. We've got the bird, mouse, and ship. So you could be looking at traveling, Leopard Skin, even if it's shorter travel, especially with the bird. Both of these cards have to do with travel, so when they show up together, this might be what comes up for you. Now, the thing about the mouse is a number of possibilities. Either that it's not a good idea as soon as next week to travel, or that if you have to, then you need to be careful, plan it carefully. You might postpone, and you might also want to review who you're doing this with. The ship can also point to ventures and projects, and it's very good for business and money and investments and that sort of activity. But with the mouse, it's possible that the return is not as good as you would have hoped. It's also possible that something doesn't set sail in the way that you had hoped. And so this will be a time, Leopard Skin, when you need to review and assess what didn't work out as well. I would also say, Leopard Skin, that you need to be careful where you're heading, what you're doing exactly, who you're doing it with, because the mouse, when it comes to people especially, can bring up issues of trust. So I'm concerned that maybe this is someone who is not particularly honest or transparent. So with the bird, you're going to need to dig out some information. So ask all the questions, don't hesitate. Even if it means you're a bit loud or you're, persistent, you need to get those answers. So don't hesitate to do this for yourself. The garden, mouse, and child. Of course, with the mouse in the center, we're going to see similar issues coming up. So this new beginning is in the cards for you. There is something new that is happening for you, and it's going to be good. We're going to see in this line that it's really good with the key and ship. The garden and mouse, though, is a bit challenging in the sense that this environment is tricky, or maybe you don't know it yet. You need to get to know it. It's also possible that people are not particularly honest, so just keep an eye out on what kind of people are in there, and be aware that not everyone is necessarily truthful or cares, so just be aware that there are such characters in this environment. I would also say, Leopard Skin group, that you want to make sure you are choosing the right environment for your next step. Take the time to assess what is this place, evaluate it if this is the right one for you, where you're going to invest yourself in for this new beginning. Now, what's interesting is that in general, I'm not really picking up a theme for you. It can be about work and business. This is the one that is most closely suggested by the cards, like the tower, the ship, and the garden. So this can figure really anywhere in your life. But in the context of work, maybe you're moving into a new job. Maybe you are leaving your current job, and this might be disappointing to your present colleagues. That is possible. That is possible. And this might also come through the central column as well. So let's move on to these columns. We have the bird, anchor, and garden. This can point to an announcement, or maybe that you are finding yourself no longer wanting really to be part of this. Because of the bird is a bit of an anxiety card. It's sort of shaky. With the anchor and garden, this is about where you are, your current status, where you're currently rooted. And so with the bird here, you're starting to get maybe a bit anxious about your present state. Maybe you want to change. You're ready to uproot yourself. That is possible. But I would also say that you might like to tap into your connections. Anyone who is supportive in your environment, you might want to reach out to them and be in touch, and also be of mutual support, because you could get some benefit from that. They could help you move forward, help you with this new step that you're taking. So do reach out to your network, to your community for this new venture that you are pursuing. The tower, mouse, and clover is a lovely combination for recovery. So the mouse is typically about loss, but the clover definitely helps you recover the loss or the challenge. With the tower, this can be something that you had lost in the past, or maybe it's an issue that you've been dealing with for a long time. And with the clover, now you're able to get over it and move on. You're able also to recover your energy, and you feel you're able to move forward. And then we have the child, key, and ship, which is a beautiful set of cards for moving forward. And with the key and ship, it is all about success and positive ventures. It's really good in any context, whether this is about travel, business, exploring new horizons, returns on investments, the fruit of your labor. All of it is really positive, and it enables you to turn the page and move forward in a new direction now. So I would say so far, Leopard Skin Group, even though we have the mouse in the center of all this, it's looking like a really positive spread. We have this beautiful right-hand side column, and we have the beautiful clover in the bottom. So there's quite a lot of positive energies that come your way. And really, the bird and mouse are not so challenging. These cards are much more positive than these two are challenging. Let's move on to the rows. We have the bird, tower, and child. Again, this idea of a new beginning with the child in here. It's like you're putting this chapter behind you. You're able to move on. The tower is about the past, and so with the child, it can mean that you're turning the page on it and moving on. The tower can also refer to the job or a company, and so again here, this can be a new level or a new job. Maybe you're getting promoted. Maybe it wasn't easy, but you're finally able to get this promotion and you're able to finally step up. Maybe this is something that you had been struggling with for a while. You'd been negotiating for a while, as we can see in this column here. These are all possible for you. And in all cases, it looks positive because we have the lovely child on the right-hand side. I would also say that you want, with the bird, you want to negotiate. You want to reach out, get in touch, and see what's going on with your prospects of making that change or getting that promotion or whatever is that new beginning that you're after that will feel like a good step forward for you. You know, the bird is a very vocal card, and even though with the mouse here, just, you know, like tone it down, it can be a bit anxious, like chattery and things like that, but you know, tone it down with the mouse and negotiate and reach out and see what is happening for you, if that's what makes sense for you in your specific context. The anchor mouse and key is also a very beautiful combination. It's very much like the central column, so it's really interesting that we have these two in the central cross. The key can help you recover the losses like the clover does, and the anchor is also solid and enduring like the tower is. So there's quite a bit of parallel in these two lines. And so we have a confirmation of the message. We have a confirmation that you will recover from these challenges and you will overcome them. You will find solutions to these little glitches and issues that come your way, and you will get them out of the way and be able to move forward. And then finally, we have the garden, clover, and ship, which is an all-around rewarding message here. It points to success and positive returns on investments like the key and ship, clover and ship. And with the garden, this can mean success in an environment. It might be the same environment, or it might be the new one that you've moved into. It's also a really good combination for this idea of going public or, you know, sharing your stuff. And I feel there's a good parallel here with this column, because it's like you are establishing your presence in a certain environment, and there might be some resistance at first because of the mouse, but then you do really well, and you know, your contribution is accepted. Maybe it's your product or your service, and you're able to kick off your venture. So overall, Leopard Skin Group, this is a really, really positive portrait that I'm seeing for you. It's also quite unique in its messages. It looks like you are starting something, and there can be some negotiations at first, things you need to overcome. Then once you do overcome them, you have success and you're able to move forward into a new chapter in your life, in your work, or in another area of your life. So the main advice that is coming through is to be vocal and to negotiate this new beginning with whoever is implicated in it, and really to dig out the details to make sure you've got everything covered so you can move forward without problems. And if there are problems, you're going to resolve them so that you can move forward. Also, the possibility of travel figures in your cards. So if that's the case, it can be really exciting for you. This is probably a place you haven't been to before. Very exciting. Just make sure you've got everything covered, you know, and you've got all the details so that there aren't issues and glitches as you travel. So overall, Leopard Skin Group, this is a new beginning that is in the making for you starting next week. Be vocal, ask questions, figure everything out as much as you can, and move forward. Any issues that come your way, have the confidence to resolve them. You will. And any issues that come your way, you will be able to resolve them. Have confidence in yourself. You will find solutions. So don't worry. Just take it step by step and then move forward with confidence and enjoy this new venture. So let me know how you like these ideas, Leopard Skin Group. I'm really looking forward to them. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Hello Brandberg Group, here we are with your cards and your lovely stone, and I've got the 9 cards that I initially dealt out. As you know, I like to keep it in this order, although that might change. And let's just deal out your 9-card portrait for what is ahead for you a week from now. Okay, Brandberg Group, I am seeing good things happening for you on the money front. This can be about the job, this can be about an investment, and this can be an important decision that you make for your money and your finances. And I say that because we have the cross as your cover card. There's also the man in the cards, the rider. This can be a certain person here who is implicated in this. And there is very positive growth for you financially. So let's get into each of the lines and build this picture for you from the ground up. The cross fox, and fish. Very much brings up the idea of money, probably through the job because the fox is associated with work. Maybe you're in business for yourself. That could also be the case. And so with the cross, you could be in for an important decision with regards to your money, with regards to a job you take, or maybe a job you change. And so this is what's key for you a week from now, Brandberg Group. I would say because the fox is in the center of it all and it can be a bit of a tricky card, I would say it's really important that you maintain your sense of self-interest. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't lend to others that you feel, might not be returning it on time and things like that. And also, you also be circumspect with your money and be conservative with your expenditure. With the cross here, it's possible that you might need to sacrifice a purchase or maybe postpone one or maybe not spend as much as you might have liked to. That is possible. But I think it's for a good reason. In the second diagonal, we have the man, fox, and rider. So the fox with the man brings up a tricky character. This is someone who is not 100% transparent, not totally honest. And with the rider, it can also point to news or a message. And so it's likely that this person brings you a message. And even though I think positive things are figuring in your cards, just when it comes to this specific person, maintain a bit of, doubt. Take what he says with a grain of salt and definitely double check everything and double check the offer. If this is an offer or a customer or, something that comes your way and that helps you financially, just look at it more closely. The cross, sun, and rider is a very beautiful message. It really points to a forward movement, motivation, and probably goal achievement as well, Brandberg Group. With the cross here, it might be a bit of work on you, so you might have to bear that cross, carry that burden, as they say. But really, you are on your way to positive things. And I really think that you should build on your momentum. Take action, don't wait. Use this energy that you have to actually move forward and to take tangible steps toward your goals. I really think you are going to achieve them. The bear, fox, and tree is very much a message of growth and promotion. Both the bear and the tree point to promotion and the possibility of promotion. The bear is about management on the job and the tree is about growth. So when they come together, it's really very obvious that you could be in for a step up of sorts. And with the fox, which is the card of jobs and employment, this can mean literally a promotion. So that could be in the works for you. If you're working towards that, a week from now might be a good time when you work towards this. If you still aren't getting it, maybe a week from now is when you start negotiating for it or, open the conversation about it with the right people. And this is in the context of work, but it can be in another context and it can be a similar indication where you're looking at promoting yourself up to the next level or taking on more responsibilities or living up to that customer or whatever else you're doing in your business. But the idea of growth is definitely something you want to pursue starting next week, Brandberg Group. And I would say with the fox, prepare to put in some discipline, especially with the cross. It might be a bit hard or you have to put in a lot of hours or, you need to work hard for it. It's worth your time. Do it, even if it's a bit painful in that sense. Now, the man, house, and fish can point to someone who is close to home, maybe in your department or the team on the job. And with the fish here, this can refer to your business, your work. And so this is someone who comes into the picture to enable that growth. It can also be in relation to real estate. When the house and fish figure together, it points to assets, hard assets, property, and things like that. And if that's what you're after, if this is something that you're working on, then starting next week is a good time when you might look at how you're going to move forward with the transaction. And so in this case, the man comes in. Otherwise, this can be the customer, it can be a colleague on the job, it can be the manager who looks at your promotion, it can be any number of people, depending on your specifics, who's going to help you get that step up and make more money from it. In all cases, the house and fish is really good for your business and it looks like you are, things are blooming, things are bearing fruit. Your efforts are bringing in the money, they're bringing in the customer. Now looking at the columns, we have the cross, bear, and man. This seems to be a manager. So like we said, the bear with the tree, we said earlier that this has to do with growth and promotion, and it points to management. And in this column, it can refer to this man here, which we also saw in your bottom row. And the idea of the cross here is that the decision might be in his hands. So maybe this growth or this opportunity for more money or this promotion or the transaction, if this is about property, it is in his hands. He can also be the customer or the buyer, the major buyer that comes in. So it seems to depend on him to some extent. The sun, fox, and house is very positive for work, for healthy routines. It's also great for family, especially with the sun. And that's because the fox is really good with families and we have the house. So it can mean that you are experiencing a happy home life. If there were any issues, they are resolved. And obviously this points to the job, your team on the job. I think you do well. I think you get that opportunity. I think you get that increase or that, level up. Brandberg, starting next week, it's definitely a good time at least to start working on it. And then finally, we have the rider, tree, and fish. And this is a very clear combination of growth, of money coming in, more money coming in, or perhaps establishing for yourself some security. So I think you could look forward to a sense of, feeling better about where you are financially, materially, in practical affairs. I think you've got the discipline and the commitment to make this happen. And certainly if you don't, Brandberg Group, then you really need those. So put your mind to this and make it a point a week from now to really get to work on your financial security so that you can put yourself on a firm and secure foundation. And of course, the cards are really good for anything that has to do with growth in financial and practical ways, a promotion, more money coming in, more customers coming in, more popularity with your business. Any number of these are possible. There is this person that comes into play. I think some things depend on him. So you might want to be careful and diplomatic with this person. He seems to be a decision maker in this whole situation. So play it smart with him and also be supportive, play your part and be a good team player. But otherwise, Brandberg Group, I think if you're willing to put in the work, to commit to the disciplines and to assess your priorities, make a few sacrifices possibly, then I think you're in for some very positive developments for your financial matters. Growth and prosperity and security are all possible for you, either through maybe property or the workplace or your business. Any number of whatever is that source of income for you is it's gonna prove to enhance itself for you starting next week. So let me know how you like these ideas, Brandberg Group. I'm really looking forward to them. And until we meet again, very best of luck with this. And I'm looking forward to our next reading together. Thank you so much for watching.